Hi guys, this is an insane policy. Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, was interviewed by Laura Kuenssberg on Sunday, where she told the journalist that she wants to see zero foreign workers brought in via the care visa system. Cooper said she wants to see it end. It's been suggested that this is a knee-jerk reaction to the rise of reform and the hammering Labour received at the local elections. But while the government may think acting tough on immigration will win them back Reform voters or discourage more from backing Farage, it will likely add pressure to the NHS.
Let's think about, the NHS and the care sector. And the care sector has relied on foreign workers because they just haven't been able to get UK people to do the jobs. The Tories changed the rules, so there's already been a drop-off in the number of visas being given to care workers coming in from abroad. Do you want to cut that still further? Can you see a day even when you say no care workers should come in from abroad?
Yes, we do. And we're going to change those rules this year to prevent the care worker visa being used to recruit from abroad. So we will close, yes. But we will allow them to continue to extend visas and also to recruit from. There's more than 10,000 people who came on a care worker visa where the sponsorship visa was cancelled. Effectively, they came to jobs that weren't actually here or that were not of the proper standard. They are here, and care companies should be recruiting from that pool of people rather than recruiting from abroad.
Okay, this is insane. We're talking about she said over 10,000 people. Let's say for the sake of argument 10,000 people. The current shortage of workers in the care sector is about 130,000 people. So Yvette Cooper is saying what we're going to do is we're going to fill that gap with about 10,000 people. Now, these are people who arrived in Britain to work in the care sector, and because of, as she said, a lack of checks or because of mistakes, these people are not working in the care sector. Now, 10,000 people. Does she assume that these 10,000 people are just sitting around waiting to receive a call from a care sector, a care company saying, we need you? These people may be working in other parts of the economy. They may have decided, I'm actually going to remain a carer, but I'm going to work in the black economy, or I'm going to just look after people for free. We don't know the situation of these individuals. But even if all of them were just sitting around waiting for a call from a company in the care sector, that's still only 10,000. We're talking about over 130,000 of a shortage of workers.
So we are closing recruitment from abroad. That is a significant change, and we're doing it alongside saying we need to bring in a new fair pay agreement for care workers, because we saw that huge increase in care work recruitment from abroad, but without actually ever tackling the problems in the system in the care sector.
Okay, now the care sector have already said on a number of occasions that pay is a problem, but it's not the driving force. The driving force is the type of work. Now, you could double the wages of care workers and not resolve the problem. Because once again, as the care sector have said, it's the type of work. Many British people don't want to work in the care sector, even if you increase the wages. But then if you're going to increase wages, who's going to pay for that? It will be councils. So are councils going to get more money in order to cover these costs? So one thing, yes, pay is a problem. But the care sector keeps saying it's not the primary concern. The primary concern is the type of work.
Shortages in that sector. I can almost imagine somebody running a care home emailing us right now saying, I can't get staff. Where are they meant to get their staff from?
Well, we want them to recruit. We've got this pool of people who came as care workers in good faith. They were recruited, but because there were no proper checks in place, because there were no proper standards, what instead happened was people were being exploited, really badly exploited. Those workers are still here. Care companies should be recruiting from those workers. They can also extend existing visas. They could
Okay, but when it comes to existing visas, there's not a guarantee that everyone wants to continue working in the care sector. There are a lot of people who would like to see their visa extended so they can continue working in the care sector, but not all of them would want to do that. It's difficult work. It's stressful work. Many people do it for a few years and then they're burnt out. They say, I want to do something else. So extending their visa will not improve the situation. But we're still talking about a shortfall of over 130,000. And the government's approach seems to be, well, let's cut off our supply of foreign workers. Why? Well, because Nigel Farage is doing well in the polls. Or because we need to bring down immigration. Something so frustrating about these interviews is politician after politician, minister after minister will say, immigration needs to come down. And I've yet to hear a journalist ask, why? Why do you want to bring down immigration if there's a shortage of workers, if this is going to damage the economy?
Recruit as well from people who are on other visas who are already here. But we do think it's time to end that care worker recruitment from abroad.
Okay. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned the NHS. The care sector have said that they have refused people entry into the care system because they don't have the staff. If they don't have the staff, they don't have people to look after people who have entered the system. So where do those people go? Well, they stay in hospital in many cases. So there are people sitting in hospital who should be released from hospital but can't because there's no place for them to go in the care sector. They can't go home and they can't go into the care sector. So they stay in hospital. And what does this do? It blocks a bed. It blocks a bed, so it increases the NHS waiting list. So the problem starts in the care sector. A lack of staff. The Tories decided, well, to hell with that. We're going to make it more difficult for people to come in from abroad because we're going to discourage them from allowing them to take their families with them. So what did these individuals do? They said, well, if we're not welcome in Britain, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go to countries like Australia or we'll go to Canada, where they actually allow us to bring our families with us. Because post-Brexit, we're talking about people having to come from further afield, spending more time away from their families. It's not like somebody who's coming from France or maybe from Eastern Europe who says, well, you know, I can go back every weekend or I can go back once a month or even once a year to visit my family. We're talking about people who are abandoning their families to a certain extent for a long period of time in order to work in the care sector. And they're, in some cases, being exploited by workers, by providers, I should say. And it's terrible work, and not many people want to do it. But the solution cannot be, we're going to end visas. We're going to make it more difficult as the population is getting older. This is an insane policy. It doesn't make any sense. It's adding pressure to the NHS, which is already struggling, which is trying to bring down the waiting list. And it's adding more pressure to the care sector, who's already struggling, who can't find the workers they need. This is the last thing they need to hear.